Something you need to understand from the very day one. You need to understand subscribers do not equal views.
You think, okay, well, I have to do what's working. But the thing is, in reality, we always want to test new content.
Because there's so many myths about YouTube content and YouTube that it's hurtful for some creators because they'll listen to the wrong thing. Hey, welcome back to the only podcast that helps you grow your YouTube channel. And sometimes we talk about our dogs doing things. I'm Travis, and I'm here with my co-host. She's back, Tina.
Woohoo!
What's going on?
That's, sorry.
Oh my gosh.
My dog isn't doing anything crazy.
I don't know. You're the one that said it in the last episode. I don't know nothing about nothing. I don't know nothing about nothing. But I'm Travis. I'm here to help you grow a YouTube channel. Tina's going to help us as well. She's one of the vidIQ coaches here. So if you're interested in something like that, we got some links in the description below, and you'll find how amazingly smart she is in this episode. And I just want to say you did a great job last time. Really enjoyed the conversation we had. We learned some things. We had a hot Tina tip, and we'll be doing that again this episode. Super excited about that. How did you feel about your hot Tina tip last time? It was actually good.
Okay. I loved my hot tip personally because I know it works.
There you go. But if you missed it, you got to go back and watch that episode or listen to that episode on the audio podcast, of course, and you'll be able to hear that hot Tina tip, which actually is a legitimate tip. It's not, we're just joking around, but it actually is a really good tip. If you're new here, we're here to help you grow your YouTube channel, and we answer your questions. All you got to do, send us an email at theboost@vidIQ.com, or if you're listening on the audio-only podcast, there's a little link in the show notes that says text us, and you click it, and you can open up a text message. And I talked about last episode, I think it's wild that people will type really long texts on the phone. People know this that listen to this podcast. You are a long-form texter.
I don't discriminate, is really what it is. I
think it's wild.
You got to communicate. Communication is the cornerstone of all relationships.
That's true. That's so true. Man, you spitting right now. Okay, let's get into the first email before I say something that gets me fired. All right. First email at theboost@vidIQ.com. Hey there, it's Keck. I left a comment on a recent video stating that my channel has more than doubled in subscribers within the last month. Oh, monkey. From 800 to 2,500 subs, over 100,000 long-form views. Thanks to all the work I've put in and your guys' advice. However, I'm finding it extremely hard to not burn out, even when I'm getting the results I want. I aim for one video a week, but even that becomes draining at times, since smaller creators like me have to do everything on our own. Also, I'm on medication over a few months where fatigue is a major side effect. What are some tips to balance consistency and not burning out, and to not beat myself up about missing a week, although I know I should be uploading while I'm gaining so much momentum? And that's the thing. On today's episode, this is one of the things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about burnout, algorithm myths, content buckets, and a lot more. And this very first one, talking about burnout, is so important because if you do YouTube long enough and if you're trying to legitimately grow it, you're probably going to burn out at some point, because it's like an escalator that moves too fast and you can never quite get to the top because you don't know what the top is. What's the top? What is the top of the YouTube ladder even? What is it? I don't think it's anything.
There is no top.
Oh my God. It's like the Matrix. There is no top. There's no spoon. Oh my God. So tell me about this. When a creator comes to you and you can tell they're starting to, sometimes they don't even know they're starting to burn out. They're just putting out content mindlessly, and they're just kind of, you can tell in their content. And a lot of times you'll see this in comments. People are like, you don't seem like yourself. Like something's off. People can tell. What do you typically tell creators in that situation?
I think it differs depending on where you're at in your YouTube journey, because I've had this today. I spoke to two different people on this. One is a smaller channel, and she was already burning out from some of the repeated videos. And that's typically, whether you're small or big, that's typically the case. You feel like you're making the same videos over and over.
Preach.
And I say, okay, well, if it's working, it sucks because you think, okay, well, I have to do what's working. But the thing is, in reality, we always want to test new content, right? Because that's where even big channels, they get stuck in their growth stage, is that they know what works and they only do what works. But the thing is, if you don't ever experiment, you can't get to that next level anyhow. So I always say, okay, so within your content schedule, let's bake in there the experiment content. And you could still have it be strategic, make it something that you'll have fun doing, might as well, right? Because you're really testing out what could be the new content in your channel, a new pillar in your channel.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the ways to keep from feeling burnt out by doing the same thing over and over again. And in the case of Keck, they're talking about also not always having a lot of time, which we hear a lot about, especially with people with full-time jobs, like trying to figure out time to shoot, edit. In the last episode, you talked about when you were going through it on your channel, you were doing long days. I can say the same thing, and still having to shoot and edit and find the time. I mean, it ends up being a passion project for a long time before it becomes anything else.
Yeah.
And that, as long as you're enjoying that part of it, this is why I think on this podcast, we always talk about when you're, especially if you're first starting out, make sure it's fun. No matter what you're doing, even if it doesn't grow you as fast, make sure it's fun, because this is the grind. This is the part where you're going to see the least return on investment being your time. So enjoying what you're doing is actually primarily the number one thing, or you will burn out and you will stop making the content and you'll wonder why you ever did it. And you'll start to second guess yourself. So that's number one. And if Keck is doing that, great. You're halfway there. One of the other things they say is, what are some tips to balance consistency and not burning out by not beating myself up about missing a week? Listen, if it's not paying the bills, it's all right to miss a week uploading a video. It's okay.
That's so true.
It's all right. What's going to happen? I remember back when I used to work in corporate America, our VP, because we would get so stressed about some of the things we were doing, our VP one time said to us, he said, did anyone die? And we're like, no. He goes, then it's going to be all right. And I feel like if you start thinking about a lot of things in life that way, things seem to be a lot more chill. It's like, oh, guess it's not that big of a deal. If taking an extra week off gives you the energy to then boost on for another 3-4 months, it's so worth it. Give yourself that time. Give yourself an extra week or 2 or 3 off if it's going to allow you to go further longer, because burnout is the boogeyman that awaits you. And it's one of the things that are never talked about for YouTube creators. Like, let's talk about this for a second.
I think it's talked about now a little bit more.
Now, yeah, for sure. But like, let's have a little thought experiment here, Tina. Let's talk about all the things that new creators are not being told or not really seeing about becoming a creator. So for example, the burnout thing, you might have seen YouTube videos about it. So maybe you're somewhat aware of it, but you're not really thinking of it because you're thinking, that's not me. Why would I get burned out making videos? I'll give you one. Privacy concerns. People don't think about this, but privacy goes right out the window if you're not protecting it from the get-go. So that's one of the things, like, you could say, I wish I knew before I, became a YouTuber. Like, I wish I knew that at the beginning I should have protected my privacy even more than I did. What would be something that you think is something that a newer creator should know that they probably wouldn't hear about otherwise?
Oh, that was a really good one. Privacy.
That was a good one, right?
Yes.
I'm good at this. I'm really good at this.
Okay. Something that, It's not going to be easy to hand off editing or thumbnail design, just because you know your niche better than anyone too. So you're almost going to have to create an SOP process, a standard of operations process. It'll really be like a business. And then you have to hand it. And then there's training process, right? So it's going to take a while to train an editor or script writer or a thumbnail designer. And then maybe it'll work out. And then you have to worry about whether they'll stay, because you give them enough work to stay, right? So I think just every level, there's another devil is a true statement, where there's always going to be issues going forward. But that sounds so ominous.
It does. Well, I'll give you another one. There is no, because I remember right before I started creating, I thought that once you hit a certain subscriber number, that things changed view-wise, like things automatically changed. That's not true. That's not even close to true. I remember one time as a viewer, I'm like, I think I might do a YouTube channel. And I came to a channel that had like 10,000 subscribers. And when I saw a lot of their videos had under 1,000 views, I was shocked as a viewer. I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that was possible. So subscribers does not equal views. Something you
Yes.
need to understand from the very day one. You need to understand subscribers do not equal views. And it's something that's overlooked. It's not talked about enough. And that what most people are seeing on YouTube is the top 5% or less of what's actually out there on YouTube. You're seeing the most popular videos. That's why they're being served to you. It's unlikely you're seeing that 80% of the videos on YouTube don't have 500 views. Like, it's very normal to not have 500 views. So that would be another thing I would say. What's one more we could come up with? There's got to be another good one.
Oh.
Don't meet your heroes.
Okay. Well, I don't know. But I would say that don't be afraid to post another channel. I think a lot of people are really reluctant to do so. But if you are starting a different niche entirely, and you have this desire to pivot your channel into a completely different direction, don't do it. Don't do it unless you're okay with it completely dying, because oftentimes subscribers will hold your channel back if you have a substantial amount of subscribers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a difficult thing to pivot larger channels unless you're doing like what I would call a 45-degree pivot. Something that's adjacent.
Right.
90-degree pivot, something that's just not what you did at all. That's just it's heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking. Yeah. And it may be tougher to do that than it is to start as a new YouTube content creator. You just, because your expectations are different. I will put one more thing out there, which is your expectations, generally speaking, always change. When I first started out, I remember thinking if I got 100 views on a video, I was happy. If I got 1,000, I would never think about the video again because it surpassed all of my desires. Then there was a time in my career where if I didn't get 1,000 views in the first 30 minutes, it failed in my mind. And that's because as you move on, these numbers, and I think is kind of bad, they only become, you see these numbers go up like it's a video game, but these are actual people. And I think you need to remember that sometimes your impact on people would shock you. I still remember to this day some comments that were left behind for me that impacted me more than any one of 10 I've ever gotten. That have been more gratifying. Like, I'll tell you one. I still have it on my my thing. I think I've even read it on an earlier episode, maybe a year or two ago. A lot of people tell you don't have an intro for like your YouTube channel. I had a short musical like ditty that people really loved. It was just a really very catchy song, and it was only like 8 or 9 seconds. And I got a comment from a guy who said, "You know what? I'm going to read it because I don't want to mistype it. You might cry. Are you a crier? Are you a crier?
Depends.
Okay. All right. What gets you? What kind of things get you?
I don't know. When somebody's just from the heart, they're saying something from the heart.
Okay. Let's see.
No.
I don't know. This might do it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I got to search my comments.
Oh.
Which I'm trying to remember how to do it. Wait.
Travis, that's a.
Listen, I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from you in this. What's going on? What's going on? Okay. Wait. Oh, here we go. I found it from 7 years ago.
Wow.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Are you ready for your heart to be touched?
Yes.
Here we go. My daughter is autistic, and your opening music sparks something in her. Thanks.
Aww.
I've never forgotten that.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I mean, how can you forget something like that? Like, seriously, something that you don't even think about as you're doing it impacts someone on a level that is like, wow, that's really cool. So when you're making content and you see those numbers, you're like, oh, 10 of 10. Maybe you only got 100 views on it. What if one of those views was something like that? Wouldn't it have just made it all worthwhile? Or maybe I'm romanticizing it too much. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool.
I think it's so cool. Wait, can I say something else?
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that you don't realize is that what we were talking about, I don't even remember, but when you get viewership, a lot of viewership, whatever it may be, you might have people that was your enemy in the past.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
See one of your videos.
Yes.
And they either comment on it as if they're your friend or they were your friend, or they message you and say, hey. So, I mean, that's a good moment though. So look forward to that.
Wait, this is a story here. What's going on?
No, I will say, I don't have enemies, right? But I have people who think that I am an enemy to them.
My gosh, that's really interesting.
And the point being that I just find it so funny when people flip their script just because of numbers. And that could be niche specific, maybe in your industry. Absolutely. If you have a business and you have a business channel and all of a sudden they're buddying up because they want a channel just like yours and they want secret information.
Absolutely.
And you say, oh no, it's actually hard work. And then
hard work? I don't want that. Ain't nobody trying to do that. Unbelievable. I love that. What a great, okay. Anyway, let's move to the next one. This next one is a text message. And again, if you're listening to the audio podcast, there's a link in the show notes for that. Here we go. This one's from Jake. Hey, vidIQ, Jake here as a return question asker. I'm not sure if you have answered this before, but I'm curious if what you watch on YouTube affects where your videos get pushed. Does YouTube think you're uploading content based on the content you watch the most or completely separate? This is one of those myths we need to bust right quick. And we get a lot of these myths. It reminds me of when I first started out. I would go to like YouTubers on Reddit or something like that. And when you're so new, you're like impressionable. You're like, what are all these things? Oh my gosh, I have to watch certain content in order for my videos to be pushed out? No, they're completely separate. To be clear, one has nothing to do with the other. And I feel like whenever I hear stuff like this, it's really important to be as solid in an answer as possible to squash it out. Because there's so many myths about YouTube content and YouTube that it's hurtful for some creators because they'll listen to the wrong thing. Very clearly, I'll say this now. No, absolutely not. Has nothing to do with it. Watch whatever you want. Having said that, you can use your viewer account to figure out new content. And this is an old-fashioned kind of thing you can do. I mean, we have, obviously, the vidIQ tool does this through AI and does some really great things. You should download that if you haven't already. Links in the description. But what you could do is have what's called an avatar account. And that is an account where you only watch content in your niche on it and nothing else, so that you can see what YouTube is promoting on the homepage and elsewhere, right? That is a very specific thing for only super nerds like myself. So I'm not saying that if you're new and stuff, you need to do this, but I'm going to quickly walk you through how to do it. This is for people that are super nerds like me. If you're a super nerd, get like your pen and paper. Yeah, like us. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Tina's a super nerd too. I knew that. Very simple. If you already have an account that has a lot of watch history stuff, you don't want to use that. Sign up for a new account, and you can do that either with a new email. You actually can attach an account to your existing email through Google and such. Once you do that, what's interesting is the first thing that comes up on YouTube when you're not signed into anything is the search bar. Once they understand what kind of things you'd be interested in the first place. Once upon a time, it just had a homepage of things and it just shotgun stuff out there hoping for the best. But now I want you to search for things. So search for a channel or a subject that's in your niche. Watch that video, then watch another video and watch another video and watch it a couple times. And if you're one of the type of people that likes to watch videos in their niche anyway, only use this account for that. Don't use this account for anything else. Don't watch anything else. And on your other account that you might use for everything else, don't watch the niche content. Just watch other stuff. So what happens is over time, YouTube gets an avatar of that, figures out who that person is, which you're creating an avatar for what is hopefully your perfect viewer. And then you'll actually see people surface on the homepage. I actually met a friend this way. There was a content creator that that got boosted to my homepage that I had never heard of before. And I'm like, wow, this guy's really talented. I watched his content. I came up with an entire series of videos that I became pretty well known for based on this technique. By doing this, having it surface, finding this guy, watching his stuff, and then thinking, how can I reinvent this in my niche? Boom. And then I reached out to him and we became pretty friendly. So it's a really interesting little thing you can do to kind of figure out what's going on in your niche.
So it's also a Tinder for friends, is what you're saying.
I swiped right. Tina, I swiped right. I swiped right real hard. He was a good guy. He's a good guy. Yeah, so that's a little tip. to kind of get you looking into some things. I think there's a lot of ways to do it. Again, that's not a myth. That's an actual thing you can do. There are so many ways to grow your channel, and listening to this podcast means you're in the right mindset anyway. So just hang with us. You don't got to do anything else. Tina and I got you. We got you.
We got you.
All right. We have another email. This one is from Rob. Now, this actually, I think I might have mentioned this on a main channel video too, but it's so good. On a recent episode, Travis and Rob were breaking down the nuance between videos created for discovery via search versus those intended for browse. And then Travis put out a listener challenge. Write to us and let us know how you're going to apply this. Well, Travis, challenge accepted. I love when people. Here we go. Specifically, I'm going to combine recent search and browse discussions with discussions about the 3 buckets. Okay, we'll talk about content buckets here in a second and what he's saying here, but I want to read through this first. When I realized the 3 buckets was more about variations of a theme, for example, 30-minute meals, Nana's cooking, and air fryer recipes, this is true, I'm going to apply it more basically. Browse is a storytelling bucket. I like that. It's a longer video. Gives viewer insights, but also establishes credibility and lets them into the community. The next bucket is search. Okay, I like this. People generally come to your video via search, not for you, but for your video, but for themselves. This is so true. This guy is preaching. And their problems. They have a problem, typically how do I problem, and they want an answer, but they don't want fluff. This is so true. Additionally, we're going to break this down because this is so true. This is where we repurpose our video into shorter 3 to 5 minute, more direct answers to questions. How do I? The third bucket will be shorts. I know you love this.
Yes.
This is where we convert landscape videos into vertical video. We will repurpose each episode into 3 to 5 shorts around 30 to 90 seconds. So in one live episode, we get 3 buckets. We get a story suitable for browse, a how-to for search, and 3 to 5 shorts designed to brand build and cross-platform promotion. Amazing. By the way, I'm team Cadbury eggs all the way. Of course you are, because you're smart. All right, let's talk about these buckets and the different traffic sources and what they did. They've written this. What makes me so proud of this is that it's accurate. Yeah. It's so much of it is so accurate that it's almost scary. Like they could do a show. They could do a podcast themselves. Let's talk about these buckets. So what are buckets? Content strategy buckets. What's a bucket? What do you think a bucket is?
A bucket is depending on what you make of it. Well, because he broke it down in a different way, which I really liked.
Yeah.
And it could really be anything, but it's basically categorizing your content. Because the problem people sometimes get into, especially when you're a smaller creator, is you see a bigger creator and they often have more buckets, but they usually started it with 1 or 2 and then they built it from there. So right. In my head, 3 is the general good place to max it out. But I like the way he did it because the way he's doing it is, yes, the search, because the search could be shorts because a lot of shorts are search.
It could be.
And discoverable could also be shorts. But
that is all right. Look, listen to her. Look, by the way, Tina loves shorts. In case you can't tell, we'll let her go off in a minute. But go ahead.
So, yeah, but I do. The way he's saying it is that he's using shorts as a way to promote his long form video, which I think is a great strategy as well. It's really just a matter of when he does content creation and maybe his content calendar, if he has one, or at the very least, he's thinking about, okay, I need to do this style, and this style. And that's what I'm going to focus on. And then look at the metrics, hopefully, and then see if I want to increase this 80%, decrease this based off of what's going on or skill set gap, etc. I think this is a solid plan. Initially,
I like also the way he broke down the traffic sources because it's accurate. So browse is what most people call the algorithm. It's the thing that shows up on your homepage. It's what YouTube figures out a person likes that they might even not know that they like. I always say when you're on your homepage, you'll see different types of videos from content creators that you've seen and watched before, videos from content creators you've never seen before, but on topics you've watched before. And then you'll see the weird one about a topic you've never watched before and a content creator you've never heard of before. And I always encourage people to watch that one first because 9 times out of 10, it's a banger for you. And it's something you would have never known to watch and you will become obsessed with it. Happens all the time. It's the YouTube rabbit hole that we all hear about. And that's browse. So he already has the thing set up where he goes, a story. So a story is good for that because you're getting people engaged in a way that YouTube's already kind of figured out what they like. So a story is good. Search, he also talked about so accurately that when someone's searching for something, 9 times out of 10 just want an answer. They're not there for you. They're not there for your shenanigans. They want to know how to tie a tie. They're late. They're late to the date. They got to hurry up. Show me how to tie this tie. I don't want to know about your family. I don't care if it's your third video on the thing. I just tie my tie. And then, of course, shorts, cross-platform too, by the way. He's not just saying just for YouTube, but also cross-platform, which is good as well. Great strategy. I love this strategy. Literally, you could use this for just about any niche. So the blueprint has been made by a gentleman named Rob. And
Rob.
I think, Tina, it just goes to show our listeners are as genius as we are. They're so smart.
Okay. Maybe, I don't know.
What? We're surrounded by smart people. What are you talking about?
I don't know about calling myself genius or.
Oh, you're a genius. Stop.
Or you, or no, just kidding.
Well, you better call me a genius. That's definitely what I am. I'm an incredible genius. I'm the smartest of the smart. All right. Let's get into this next one. It's another email from the boost at vidIQ.com. This one comes from Connor. It's Connor here. I haven't even started a YouTube channel yet. You know, this is not the first time we had this. Actually, I have a lot of people that listen to the show that haven't started their YouTube channel. I don't know if you know this. And what excites me about that is people are taking it seriously enough that they're actually trying to get educated on it before they even start. That's cool. That means we got serious creators here. I graduated a couple months ago, and now that I'm recently engaged to my high school sweetheart, hey, congratulations.
Oh,
so nice.
I
I have seen how hard being an adult actually is.
Here.
One day I'm sitting in my apartment and I stumble upon one of your shorts, the one describing stuff about the algorithm. Then I went to your podcast and have listened to every episode since then, sometimes more than once. I heard some of the questions, and one night it came to me to start a YouTube channel, which is interesting to listen to a podcast about YouTube channels. Never even thought about starting a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I started trying to find a niche, then I realized how much of a gamer I was. Well, this is good. I decided I wanted to create a channel with different challenges in Fortnite and test out the creator mode maps, but I'm not really sure how to start. Can you tell me how to start an audience and what are some good tactics to start a channel are? Okay, sure. Gaming is heavily saturated, but when someone says that, it also implies that there's no way to grow, which is also inaccurate. Sure, it's saturated. Of course, tons of creators. Yeah, but there's also a ton of viewers. There's a lot more viewers than there are creators. Yes. I turn the question around to the viewer or to the creator. What would you want to watch? Like, what sounds interesting? What's the last cool video you watched, and how can you make your version of that? What's the channel you like, and what's the content that they make that you watch every single video of? Like, that's the type of stuff you want to do. Mm-hmm. Look at how they interact with their audience. Read the comment section of other videos. You'd be surprised at what people will give away. They'll say, oh, I found this video via this. I love this about it. Okay, well, just do that. And they really said, I like when you did this. I'm going to do that. That's the first thing I'm doing. Because for every one person leaves a comment, there's like 20 or 30 that didn't leave a comment and think the same exact way. So that would be another thing. What are some other things you can think of?
I would also say the opposite of that. You'll often find in comments, because I always think, okay, what's your X factor? And maybe they're super charismatic and you know that you're just not that level of charismatic, and that's okay. And then you see in the comments that it says, you know what? I really love your video, but, and it'll say, I really want to know more information as you're doing X, right? And so now you could be that person that's filling that marketplace of doing the same exact everything else, but then you're the person who has the knowledge, and you'll spill out the knowledge. So where you lack in one area, quote unquote, that the marketplace already loves, you can make up for it where somebody's literally asking for something, especially when you see a lot of likes on specific comments like that.
It's important to know that your superpower is you being you. No one else can do that, right? You have the market cornered when it comes to being you. So whatever it is that's interesting about you that it brings people to you, even as friends, like in regular everyday life, you could ask your friends, like, what do you like about me? And figure out what are the things that are your superpower. Like, what is your superpower? I think my superpower is making people laugh.
Aww.
Personally. I could be
so
wrong.
Sweet.
But the fact that you think it's sweet is really weird, because I'm trying to make you laugh.
Okay.
I think you'd be like, yeah, that's funny, Travis. But you're like, no, that's sweet. Hey, that's sweet? That's
sweet.
Weird. Why is it sweet that I make people laugh? Is that good? Is that a good thing? I don't even know.
That means that your friends, you make your friends laugh.
Oh, I was paranoid for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening? All right, Tina over here making me feel, having me second guess myself. Yeah, exactly. All right. So, but all that to say that you have a superpower, you may not even be aware of it. Once you identify it, make that and amplify it through your content. If you're really good at explaining things, explainer videos are going to be great. How, you said you want to play video games, Fortnite. You could explain how to beat a level or how to aim better. Or, if you're just a really good teacher in that way, then lean into that. If your personality is big and boisterous, lean into that. If you are a very empathetic person, lean into that. There's a lot of different ways to do this, a lot of different ways to slice this onion. And I think the superpower, what is your superpower, Tina? What is it? I'm curious.
It depends. So, my superpower, I've been told, is that I'm very direct.
I believe that.
But that could be a good thing or a bad thing.
I'm sure at Thanksgiving, no one appreciates that superpower. Oh, no. Okay, we got, I think, one more. And this really isn't a question. One of the things I really enjoy about doing a podcast like this and having all the emails and comments and stuff we've had over the year and change we've been doing this is the impact we have on people. And I've heard multiple emails and had multiple things that have come through that have really touched me. And we talked about this with the comment earlier. And I actually love these. So if you have something like this you want to write us, feel free. This email, theboost@vidIQ.com, comes to us from Sean. And this is what Sean has to say. Hey there, Travis and Jen. I've been listening to y'all for a while. I was searching for a good YouTube podcast and came across your show. And it's actually the reason I decided to purchase vidIQ as well. So don't you two get a bonus for that? No, we don't. You should. Pre-2012, I smoked 2 packs a day and drank until I was drunk every night, alone and depressed, and did no form of fitness. I have a lot of teeth-related pain from not taking care of them as a kid. In 2012, I needed to change because I was concerned about my health in my 20s. So I bought a bicycle. I fell in love with cycling, and eventually it led me to hiking. So I created a YouTube channel called Hiking with Sean. I started posting all my local hikes and bike rides, thinking that a few family members and friends would subscribe. Boy, was I wrong. People started subscribing left and right. That made me take my channel seriously and treat it like a business. I consistently uploaded frequently and grew my channel to over 6,000 subscribers in just 9 years. And over the last couple of years, I've really started focusing on making it bigger. I upload a video every day, 3 longs and the rest are shorts. I have a total of 1.5 million views on YouTube. However, I receive 1.5 to 2 million views a month on Facebook with nearly 30,000 followers. I even run a related group with nearly 50,000 members. I've been on the local news, radio, and various magazines. I've even been mentioned in a book. YouTube has changed my life. The best part is I met a fan and we started hiking together. And about 6 years later, she became my wife. That's the sweetest thing, isn't it? Are you loving this?
Amazing. Oh, yes.
I thought I was always going to be alone, and now I have a wife who was a fan first. I think people in the darkest times, as I was back then, can turn to things that can spark their creativity and help climb their way out of it into some kind of happiness. Love the show. And I can eat a whole carton of Cadbury eggs. So I feel like YouTube, at the end of the day, is literally one of the most incredible platforms that has ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many stories like this that we never get to hear. I love these stories specifically because it's easy to forget that this sort of thing happens. So Sean's life was changed by YouTube, and probably some of the viewers and followers of his now that watch his content, their lives might be changed now. And we're a part of that. And I think if you, it's easy to remember, or it's easy to forget that and lose track of the sight that this platform is worldwide. Anyone can pretty much watch it, just about, in the world. And you might be reaching them at a time in their life where they just need something that you can provide. And how magical is that? How amazing is
incredible. And it's usually the viewers that never comments or likes or engages in any way. Those are the ones that you're changing their life. And then suddenly 5 years later, you realize because they reached out to you or something like that, and it touches your little heart.
It touches my little heart. I can remember kind of in a way similar to this, when I decided to start a YouTube channel. I remember the comment I left before I started the channel. I see, this is the thing I do. It's so funny that, wait, how am I going to find it? Oh, wait, no, I know exactly how to find it, because I remember what video it was. So a long time ago, I used to run a podcast. Many years ago, I did many podcasts, and I took some time off because I got burned out from it. And then YouTube came along, and I'm like, YouTube seems kind of interesting. But by the time I was watching YouTube around 2017, I was like, it seems like it's overly saturated. I don't think you can really grow on this platform anymore. And I happened to be watching YouTube videos, and one creator that I was watching, he said, how to get 10,000 subscribers in under a year. I'm like, what? So I watched it, and it was his like 1 year anniversary video. And I was like, you can get 10,000 subscribers in a year? Like, holy crap. And I remember being so motivated by that, that I wrote a comment, and the comments here, I found it. Here it is. This is me writing to this creator who later became a friend.
Oh.
I have a channel that I haven't taken seriously in years. I've always wanted to, but just figured there was no way to get it into a state that people would want to watch. Your last couple of videos have encouraged me, and I'm going to go all in on this time. We'll see what happens. If it becomes a success, I'll definitely credit you. And later in life, after I got to 100,000 subscribers, I credited him in that video.
Yes.
And it's such, and again, this was a guy who his content wasn't about like growing subscriber size. He just was celebrating himself. But that video made me want to become a creator. Like, it was the thing that pushed me over the top. And had he not made that video, I might not have gotten on YouTube. It's wild.
That's wild.
Absolutely insane. So I think it's really important to know that this platform, while infuriating at times, absolutely, and debilitating at times, is also pretty freaking special. Pretty special. Do you have any cool stories that YouTube has had? Like, have you met any friends or had any cool
a lot.
things happen?
Yeah. Yes, tons. It's hard to pull a story. I will say this. Okay, so I had a friend who he was in coding of some sort. And I don't know much about this, but he had only maybe 5 videos on YouTube. It was SEO optimized. He maybe got 15 views on each video, got a job. And before this, he was making just average like 50K a year. He got this job that was 250K a year without a degree because of these YouTube videos.
Whoa.
Yeah. And there wasn't even that many views on it. And it just goes to show that, it doesn't really matter that how many views you get. Just even the act of posting it out there, it already puts you at an advantage that most people just don't have just by doing that alone. But I've definitely met some really, really cool people in my life. And yeah.
All thanks to YouTube?
Yes. All thanks to YouTube. Yes, for sure.
That sounds like an amazing story. You need to go ahead and start a new podcast. I want to hear that. I see the smile on your face. Something's going on, and I'm definitely curious. But we don't have time for that here today. I want to thank Tina again for joining us. And Tina will be back at some point, I'm sure. We love her here. Make sure you leave a comment saying you love Tina. That's important.
Yes, that's important.
If you're new here, you can hit that subscribe button. Every week we come out here, we try to answer your questions, help you grow your YouTube channels. If you're listening to the audio podcast, you should leave us 5 of them stars, only 5. We don't do anything less than that. And we'll probably be back again. If you're new here also, we got a ton of videos. You should probably watch one of the new ones or one of the old ones. We got ones that are a year old, just as good as the ones we just did today. And for everyone else, see you in the next one.